Alhamdulillah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we give our praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to experience this Ramadan, for allowing us to experience these last 10 nights, for allowing us to experience, inshallah, Laylatul Qadr. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us during these nights and to accept all that we do, inshallah. And we ask Allah to send His blessings upon Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, for tonight's fast reminder, Ramadan reflection. As we go along these 10 nights, or actually, how many more days? 5 more days, yeah? It's very quick, Ramadan, very quick. When we go through Ramadan, and it's to bring the spirit of Ramadan alive, and to keep it alive from Ramadan and into outside of Ramadan, is our true focus and our realignment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That, everything in life, there's an up and down, it's a roller coaster. And Ramadan, in fasting, in our prayers, it keeps us in check with what is truly real. It keeps us in check with reality, the capital R. And that reality is going back to God, with a capital G, going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the realignment that when we fast, no one knows that we're fasting unless we tell them. When we pray, people can see prayer. But when we fast, it's between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And it's not just about the fasting. It's not just about the praying. It's not just about the performative actions that we do. That's the spirit that we need to give. It's not about, as well, showing up to the masjid. That's also part of it, but some, as we said in the last session, or actually yesterday, about how arrogance and how feeling better than others can destroy the building blocks of our devotions. Right? Like my mom, she was telling me yesterday that when I talked about the Sam and the Izam, I think in Urdu it's the Lungi, that doesn't make me holier than thou. That doesn't make me better than any one of you. This clothing that I have doesn't make me better than any one of you. This hat that I have doesn't make me any better than any one of you. Alright, this is just because I got this from Egypt and I'm wearing it. And also this hat, it reminds us of the Prophet and his way of how he did his prayer, that we want to be presentable to the divine. That when we go to the president's house, when we go to the White House, when we go to any official position, we want to be in our best state. Right? Take your best when you're at the places of worship, when you're in the divine presence. That's the idea of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking at us, not looking at our clothes, not looking at our outer forms, but looking inside, looking at what the heart is. Where is our heart? When someone asks you, how are you today? You can say, fine, alhamdulillah, thank you. But in actuality, lots of baggage is behind that. What's very rare is when you have someone ask, how is your heart? Rather than ask, how are you? They ask, if you have someone that very close to you, how is your heart? What is the state of your heart at that very moment? That's what we need with this community. Right? And when we focus on the last 10, the last 5, we're focusing on the heart. We want the realignment of the heart to be away from whatever takes us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Because this dunya, there's lots of attachments. There's lots of attachments of the world. When we say Allahu Akbar, Allah is great, I prefer the translation, Allah is greater than. When we say Allah is greater than, who is He greater than? Allah is greater than my job. attachments that I have with my career, with my school. Right? That's the ultimate goal in our realignment towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when we're realigning ourselves towards Allah, when we go into prayer, we also do not want to oppress people in that way. What I mean by that is that when we're going towards the path towards Allah, we don't want to bump into people and think that I have to do my thing, and that's it. What I mean by that is that, for example, parking is a big issue, right? When you're blocking someone, you're taking their rights, and you're going for Allah's rights. Allah's rights is also with that neighbor. The neighbors that we have around us, it's said that they are as though they are blood relatives, and that they inherit from us. When you have inheritance and someone passes away, who receives that money? The blood family. Your father, your mother, or your brother, your sister, or any relative. It's as though your neighbors are like the blood relatives. That's how close the prophetic community was with their neighbors. Right? What is our relationship with them? Right? And so I wanted to combine our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our realignment, as well with our relationship with the creation of Allah. There's a saying about the advice in terms of searching for Laylatul Qadr. We know it's at the odd nights. We know it's better than 1,000 months. And how do we search for that? Many of times, we do prayer, we do dhikr, we remember Allah, we read Quran, we affirm our connection with Allah even further, right? It intensifies. There's advice from a teacher in Sheikh Ahmad al-Ma'asalawi. He is one of the head reciters in Egypt. And his advice is, during the month of Ramadan, or especially in searching for Laylatul Qadr, which is a very auspicious night, don't search for Laylatul Qadr only between the pillars of the mosque. We have pillars right here, right? Don't search for Laylatul Qadr in between the pillars of the mosque. Also look for it in the clothing of a poor person, giving security to a scared one, or removing oppression. The idea is that when we are doing our best in our devotion towards realignment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't want to forget that there are those that are in need of help. We don't want to forget about the other. Because sometimes we can focus totally, and it's not to say it's bad as well, to focus totally on prayer, on our devotions, on our qiyam al-layl, on our night vigils. We can focus all of that, but what is happening on the neighborhoods right here? What do we see when we go past Pico Street, or Pico Boulevard? When we see past Wilshire, right? We see the unhoused community that needs lots of help, but in actuality, we are in need of their help. Because Allah is providing this opportunity for us to provide. That's where someone can find their Laylatul Qadr, in helping others, and relieving someone. Because when we relieve someone of the problems and their issues that they have, whatever financially, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, then Allah is in that aid in ours, mentally, physically, financially, psychologically. Right? To not forget the other during these last 5, inshallah. This is like the narration of Ibn Abbas, who was a companion of the Prophet ﷺ, that fulfilling a Muslim's need is superior to i'tikaf for 10 years. So imagine you do 10 years of i'tikaf. Let's say 2022 right now. to 2032. We just do i'tikaf. We do our own routine. Right? In the last 10 nights. Fulfilling a Muslim's need. For example, when you know someone in the community is struggling with financial issues, and you help them, you lend them money, or when they're going through a rough time with their family, and you kind of mediate with them. That right there, just that one deed that you do, is better than us staying here in the masjid for 10 years at the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Right? And so we think about how we conduct religiosity, how we be Muslims, and the focus of Allah can also be directed to what is going on around us. Right? Because when we do good with others, we're also doing good with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that this spirit of Ramadan keeps us aligned with the divine reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that we also have to do good with Allah's creation, inshaAllah ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept us during these nights, to give us understanding, to give us insights, and to give us wisdom during these last nights. We ask Allah to make us people that are generous, to make us people that are altruistic, to make us people that are thinking of others, of others. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us people that are full of sincerity, full of generosity, full of thankfulness and gratitude that Allah has given us these nights and this Ramadan and this fasting. To be alive is to be thankful. And ask Allah to allow us to always be thankful of that. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.